People often like to say that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, but in reality, only one of these statements are true. In fact, a study of 177 self-made millionaires found that 59% of them had a middle-class background, while a whopping 41% came from a low-income household, despite having exponentially fewer opportunities than the middle class. But even aside from statistics, a significant portion of the people we look up to didn't start rich or middle class, but poor. From Steve Jobs, Ed Sheeran, and Leonardo DiCaprio to Arnold Schwarzenegger, J.K. Rowling, and Oprah Winfrey, many of them have gone to extreme lengths for money, from selling their blood to pay for college tuition to working as a janitor and collecting food stamps. So clearly, it's not a lack of opportunity or economic power that's holding back the middle class. But then, what is? Well, starting off, people in the middle class generally have too many options. Having options are great, but in this case, it generally leads to procrastination and indecisiveness as the middle class indefinitely searches for the perfect opportunity. If it's stocks, they'll say they're waiting for the market to bottom. If it's real estate, they'll say they're waiting for lower mortgage rates. And if it's starting a business, they'll say they need more money. Now, these are meaningful reasons, as investing in a real estate or stock market crash can be quite lucrative. But the thing is, though wealthy individuals may become wealthier during a recession, they definitely don't wait around for crashes to build wealth. And really, the vast majority of people making such excuses are just using these excuses to justify a lack of action to themselves and or others. So most of them wouldn't even take action if the perfect opportunity presented itself. But even for the people that would take action, the issue is that they'll likely not attain whatever it is they aim to do, because the window of time for the quote-unquote perfect opportunity is small and unexpectable. Taking a look at the crash that just happened, you can see how many small peaks and valleys there were on the way down that could have been interpreted as the market bottom. The truth is, not even Warren Buffett or Ray Dalio could reliably predict the bottom. But even if you did, what happens when the market returns? Would you sell when the market reaches all-time highs again? If so, you would have actually gotten a solid 50% return in the past crash. But then what's the plan after that? Wait another 12 years for the next crash and hope that you can score the bottom once again? Even being one day late would cost you 10%, lowering your returns to 40%. I think you guys can see the problem with trying to time the market. Even the biggest companies in the world don't time the market. The iPhone came out right before one of the worst recessions in history, and Google was launched to the heights of the dot-com bubble. Furthermore, a lot of these companies also didn't have revolutionary ideas either. Google, for example, was late to the search scene, the mail scene, and the browser scene. They didn't even buy the original online video sharing platform, which was shareyourworld.com, founded a solid 7 years before YouTube. Despite not being first at anything at the start, they have come out first in the overall internet game. Evidently, the excessive options available to the middle class often hold them back as they endlessly search for the perfect opportunity, when studies have shown over and over again that time in the market is much more valuable than trying to time the market, whether stocks, real estate, or starting a business. Moving on, the middle class is more fearful of risk because they actually have something to lose. A lot of people in the middle class have high-paying jobs well into 6 figures, and they don't want to leave behind the safety of that job to start a business. Similarly, the middle class doesn't want to risk the money that they have slowly saved up for years. They would rather just continue to slowly save up rather than trying to grow the money. Conversely, low-income individuals don't have anything to lose. Anything would be better than their low income and low savings. And that brings me on to one of the most important pitfalls of the middle class, which is that they're comfortable. Sure, they'd enjoy making more money or becoming wealthy, but they are for the most part already satisfied with where they are and don't see a need for change. They already have the house, they already have the cars, and they can already afford some fun here and there. But this is only partially true, and oftentimes the excuse the middle class use to continue stagnation. Now, if you're in this stage and enjoy your career, then there's no issue whatsoever. But the fact is that you would be in the vast minority, because according to Gallup, 85% of people hate their jobs. So if you're in the middle class and fall within this category, then whether you like it or not, money will solve a lot of your problems. Maybe having more money would enable you to finally quit the job you hate, But it doesn't even have to be that big of a change. If it's the 2-hour commute that's eating you up, then money can help you relocate close to your job. Or if it's the boss or culture of your office that you hate, money would give you more flexibility on where you work. So, for the vast majority of the middle class, having more money would be a bigger benefit than they would like to admit. We often see a bunch of studies showing that after $70,000 or $80,000 a year, the correlation between making more money and happiness dies out. But I think there's an inherent flaw with establishing such a relationship, because correlation does not show causation, and there are a variety of factors that influence this relationship. For starters, making more money comes along with more stress and responsibility. You might also have to work longer hours and have less time off. So really, it could even be argued that the fact that the money happiness graph stagnates at one point proves that making more money is making these people happier. Because for most people, making more money is accompanied by a lot of negative aspects in their work life. Thus, being just as happy as people making less money shows that they're actually happier in other aspects of their lives, whether family, friends, or travel. And that brings me on to the final and most important reason the middle class will never win from a wealth perspective, which is that the middle class often looks down on wealth. We often think that wanting more money is greedy, and we assure ourselves that having more won't make us happy. But let's be real here. The simple fact that money can eliminate a job that you hate, which you'll likely spend a third of your life working at, or over 90,000 hours throughout your lifetime otherwise, I'd be willing to bet that more money would make you happier. And the dismissal of this fact is, I think, the biggest downfall of the middle class. Many of us just tell ourselves that we already have enough and make up terrible excuses for our stagnation, like waiting for the perfect opportunity, the president, or of course, baby boomers. They must be it. Meanwhile, the poor and the rich are always hungry for more, which continuously pushes them forward. But if you're truly satisfied with life, disregard all of this, as there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't be part of the 85% of people who are lying to themselves on a daily basis.